Let's turn our attention to another aspect of Scala's support for functional programming: function level code reuse mechanisms. Java and other object oriented languages use inheritance as an important mechanism for code reuse. Their support for code reuse via function level constructs is rather limited. Scala, by contrast, has a very rich set of primitives for function level code reuse. Let's explore some of these rich primitives in Scala, starting with parameter default values, a relatively simple concept. Type parameters, which are very similar to generics in Java, partially applied functions, which are loosely related to function overloading in Java, and lastly to currying. Currying refers to logically grouping parameters and then specifying the values of some of those groups. Let's start with parameter default values, which are conceptually pretty simple. Let's plunge into a simple demo showing how they work. Some languages such as C++ have restrictions on which parameters can have default values. Scala does not have any such restrictions. You can see in our function here, getCircleStats, that we have assigned a default value of 3.14 to the first or the leftmost function parameter. It turns out that there is still no ambiguity, there's no problem invoking this function because Scala allows us to specify function parameters by name. This allows us to use default parameter values and specify those parameters out of order. So when we invoke this function with a single parameter, all we need to do is to specify the name of the parameter to which we are assigning a value. This is why the facility, the ability in Scala to specify parameter values by name is so important. It allows us to specify those parameters out of order, and in turn that allows us to make full use of default values on parameters. Let's move on to type parameters, which are yet another code reuse mechanism very similar to generics in Java. Most Java programmers have come across a situation where they create a generic container, for instance, a list which is specified to contain only string objects. Generic parameters can be specified not only for classes but also for functions. On screen now is an example of a function in Java with a template or a generic parameter t. This is a placeholder for a type. This is a great way to combine code reuse as well as type safety. It's no wonder that generics or type parameters are so popular. This same construct is also available in Scala, where it's named type parameters or parametric polymorphism. Notice the slightly different syntax. The types are specified in square brackets rather than angle brackets, but the overall idea remains the same. While actually invoking such a function, Scala type inference helps, so you do not necessarily need to specify the type parameters. Also remember that type parameters can be specified for methods but not for function objects. Let's now turn to the really simple but beautifully elegant concept of partially applied functions. Here we need to introduce a term, arity. Arity basically refers to the number of input arguments into a function. For instance, a function that takes one input is said to be unary. If it takes two inputs, it's binary, and so on. Consider a quaternary function. This is a function with arity equals 4 because it takes in 4 inputs. Let's represent this function as f of w, x, y, and z. This is mathematical notation, of course. W, x, y, and z refer to the input arguments into this function. Now, let's say that we wanted to fix or we wanted to assign specific values to 3 out of 4 of these inputs. Specifically, we want to fix the value of w to be w1, y to be y1, and z to be z1. When we do this, the result is also a function. This is a unary function because there's now only one free input, and that's x. The resulting function, after we have specified the values of 3 out of 4 parameters, is a unary function which we call g of x. G of x is a partially specified function with reduced arity. We obtained it by specifying the values of some but not all of the parameters into the original function. In a nutshell, that's the idea behind partially applied functions. You should know that this is an idea that exists in Java as well. We simply create an overloaded version of the function and specify the values of some of the parameters. However, Scala has explicit language support, and this makes it really easy to use partially applied functions in Scala. Let's go ahead and see how this works in a simple demo. We start with a function called compare strings. Next up, we create a higher order function called smart compare. Smart compare takes in two strings as well as a comparison function. Let's say now that we wanted to create a partially specified function in which we specify that we always want to use the comparison function compare strings. Doing so actually gives us back the original comparison function. All that we need to do in Scala is tell Scala that we want to fix the value of the third parameter, that is the comparison function, and reduce this from a ternary function into a binary function. We are telling Scala that the values of the first two parameters remain free. We do so making use of the placeholder underscore. And the result is a binary function. This is a function object which accepts two strings and returns a comparison based on the comparison function which we specified. The function smart compare was a ternary function. We have now a binary function of type function2 which we can now use to compare strings. Let's move on now to talk about the last of the code reuse mechanisms we are going to cover, and that's currying. Currying is conceptually very similar to the partial application of functions. The difference primarily lies in that curried functions first logically group their parameters into something known as parameter groups. A curried function then specifies the values of some but not all of the parameter groups. Other than that, the concept behind currying is very similar to that behind partially applied functions. So let's start by understanding the idea of parameter groups and of semantically linked groups of parameters. Let's return to our example of a smart compare function. Here we can logically think of the inputs as being of two types. There are the strings s1 and s2 which have to be compared, and then there is the comparison function. This of course is a function object that's been passed in. This function object takes in two strings and returns an integer. These are semantically different groups of parameters, and Scala allows this semantic distinction to be made explicit. How? Well, by using multiple groups of parentheses while declaring or defining the function. Here we have a version of the same function called curried compare. Notice how curried compare takes parameters in two groups. The second is the strings s1 and s2, and the first is the comparison function. All that we've done is to group these parameters so that they make sense together, and then each such group is enclosed within a pair of parentheses. The syntax is a little strange because this involves invoking such a function using not one but two pairs of parentheses. You can see an invocation now where we specify in the first parameter group the value of the comparison function, and in the second the two strings which have got to be compared. It's odd for many programmers to invoke a function with more than one pair of parentheses, but conceptually it's not very difficult. Now that we've understood what parameter groups are all about, we can talk about currying. A curried function simply fixes the values of one or more groups of parameters while leaving one or more of the other groups free. This makes it very similar to the partial application of functions. In this example, you can see that we have fixed the value of the first parameter group so that it takes in the comparison function compare strings, but we have left the values of the second parameter group free. We do so using the placeholder underscore. Once again, the result is a partially applied function. This is a function with only one parameter group rather than two. The curried function that we get, which we call default compare, can now be invoked with just one pair of parentheses. And this is currying in action.